Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Big Al,
Lil L.
Tall T.
and welcome to the podcast. I want to give a shout out to our producer from Flash Laughs, Evan. Give it up for Evan Grabenstein. He's going to be our producer for the show. So
Woo-hoo.
everybody say, "Hey, Evan."
Hey, Evan.
Fuck you.
All right. Hopefully that's the last time we hear him. All right. So
Guys are always amazing.
this is the we already done a test run, and this is going to be the official first podcast for us. So welcome, guys. How you doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Everybody
Big
have a
Al.
good weekend so far?
Fan-freaking-tastic.
I heard you got in a car accident.
I got in a car accident. Well, technically that wasn't the weekend. That was Wednesday after work. Airbag, did me dirty. Seatbelt too. What the fuck? This thing's supposed to protect me.
What happened?
It was you, was it?
It was me. It was totally me.
Okay.
But
Well, at least she admitted
it was a shitty three-way.
It was 3 cars?
No, three-way intersection.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It was a shitty
Was
three-way.
it that new one over there on Blanco?
No, it was a 90 and 1604, but like past,
Oh, way on
when,
the west
when
side.
1604 becomes a like farm road,
So it was a three lane street, right?
like
It was
2 lanes. I was coming this way.
Okay.
Traffic
It was like a
was
T.
shit, and they were using the shoulder as a turning lane, which it's 1 lane.
Right.
And so I couldn't see, and I was trying to take a left. So what I do, I've been doing this. I'm 44 years old. I've been fucking driving forever, and
that
so
doesn't mean you're good, but okay.
okay, yeah. No, he's right. I'm not good. but I had my 5-year-old daughter, and that was scary. But so I was taking a left. I'd go to the median. Bam! I couldn't see this lady, older lady. And here's the thing: they took her off in a stretcher. I don't even know, she could be dead. I hope you're not dead.
So she hit
gonna-
you.
You're gonna find
Huh?
out.
She hit you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's still my fault because I couldn't see her. You know, I didn't see
okay.
her until she hit me.
Was it a stoplight there or a stop sign?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
I feel like I have
That's weird.
a lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no signs anywhere, then that's kind of like.
It's a T
A T. Yeah.
with
Wow.
no signage, no stop sign, no.
No,
yield.
I have a stop. I had a stop sign.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
so
then.
you stop, but the cross traffic doesn't stop.
Doesn't
right.
stop.
And it was almost bumper to bumper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And bam, like you don't even understand. Boom. And I've always been scared of the flipping airbag,
And
and,
it-
just like
What was she driving?
a little sedan. I don't even
Oh,
know.
okay.
And that's the thing. My insurance asks me a million questions. Like I don't fucking know. I don't know. like
So when insurance get to asking all those questions, they're trying to find a way to get up out of from paying. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Because I backed into a pole in my truck, and I was like, I'll file a claim later. And so it was like 3, 4, 5 months later, and I call her. I mean, they're asking me all of these questions. I'm like, bitch, it's just a ding. Just send it to the shop. Let me pay my deductible. Send me on my way.
I have an extreme hatred for insurance. I will tell you that. With the hundreds of thousands of dollars that in my lifetime I paid in insurance, man, there should be a medical team showing up at my house to give me X-rays and MRIs and all this shit, and I can't even get a rental car.
Wow.
I can't even get a
What?
rental. No, it's
You
not
don't
even in
have
my shit, and I got full coverage.
You don't. Oh,
I
you
paid
didn't-
$250 a
Well,
month.
why don't you check your credit cards and stuff like that? A lot of
Yeah.
sometimes even with your cell phone,
Yep.
whatever contract you have with your cell phone or some of your credit cards, even your debit card, they all come with extra perks and stuff. So take a look into
Yeah,
it. You might have a rental car thing in there. So I know I do, and I also have like one of my cards gives me like a cheap towing. Because I didn't have it in my previous insurance. I do have it now. But yeah, it's that's terrible. I mean, you're okay though, right?
Yeah. I just
And
like
your
I said,
kid's
I'm
okay? Everybody's
sore.
okay?
Yeah, she was baby
Just
girl's
more,
first accident. Yeah, great,
that's
great
terrible.
job.
She was in a
But
car
then,
seat,
but you know
booster
what? Yeah, she was in the car seat. But you know what pisses me off the most is that I've now lost my leverage to criticize my husband's driving for the unforeseen future because
And that's more traumatic
until
than the actual
I know that's
accident,
what
huh?
like we went to South Padre because it's our anniversary. Shout out to David Manzano. We've been married 18 years.
You didn't drive, did you? He wouldn't let you
Hell
drive.
no, I wouldn't drive. And I did get behind the wheel, and I was like, oh. But I can't say shit now because even my 13-year-old's like, well, Mom, you got in the accident. I don't know what you have to say. Fuck you, kid. Let's go.
So you might have PTSD. I had a similar accident when I very first started driving. I was pulling out onto it was 2 lanes going east with a turn lane, 2 lanes going west. I'm making a left. And the road comes around as a curve. So I look left, nothing's coming. I look right, it was clear. And I'm like 16. So like I said, I looked left was clear, right was clear. So I get ready to pull out. And when I look back left, there's a car right there. And he tagged me. And it scared the shit out of me. And then after that, after driving, I drove after that, I was paranoid. I look left, I look right, I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right. Then I go.
Do you count? Like
no,
one?
but
Because that might be.
That sounds like an OCD thing.
It might be a mental illness you have going on there.
It's like, let me double check again. Yeah, that's it. It's, yeah.
Well, I mean, the important thing is you're okay. Your
Thank
kid's
you.
okay,
Thank you, Big Al. Yeah.
And your car probably has a lot of stuff that's got to be taken care of.
My pride is it's got no value and it's gone. So thanks.
Is the car total?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing they tell you too is when the airbag goes off, it's basically totaled. So the thing that's supposed to protect you basically
Ruins
like your car is done after that. Like a bag comes out, almost decapitates you, and your car is done.
I've heard accidents where the bag did more damage to the person than the accident itself.
Yeah, I know. That's yeah. That's bruised up, battered.
Well,
pride hurt.
You're alive.
Can't
so
criticize.
That's the good
I
thing.
guess,
You're alive.
yeah.
I mean, we can't think
No,
about
you're
anything
right.
else
No, thank
like
you.
that.
Thank you to the creators of people. Thank
It
you.
happens,
Appreciate it.
people get
Appreciate
in accidents. I haven't had an accident in a long time, but I totally get it.
It's a sign to stop driving, I think.
Or just be careful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get
What
yourself.
about you, Big A? You said you was down in
Yeah, I had
drinks left and right all week.
Yeah, I had 2 shows out in the Austin area.
Okay.
So
Where at?
in Bastrop and
Okay.
Georgetown. So there's
Bastrop's not Austin, but okay.
well, it's.
Did you say
it's
Bastrop?
past.
Bastrop?
Yeah, it's the Bastrop.
Isn't it Bastrop?
I don't know. That's how I pronounce it.
California.
So we were doing that. So it's a 2-show run, and I went there with me and a comedian named Patrick Christopher. So I headlined, he featured.
Sweet.
And then I brought one of my students with me to the first show, and he hosted. So it was his very first comedy hosting, Tom
okay.
Sanchez. I don't know if you guys know
we
Tom.
met him. You brought him to class.
Yeah, Tom's a great dude.
Oh, the dude that
he was in the
spoke on
class.
stage?
He was in the class previous to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, and
He hosted.
he hosted, first time hosting.
That's great.
How you do?
He did, for a first time, he did good. He did good. I don't want to say he did fine. He did fine if he had been doing it longer, but since he just did it for the first time and he's only been doing comedy.
You don't want to blow his head up?
Well, no, I don't want to put him down and I don't want to blow him up. I'm just,
right.
for what it is, he did good.
Yeah.
He got him laughing. He moved the show forward.
Sweet.
And then the feature was able to go up, and he did his job and made him laugh and set it up for me. And then I was able to go in there and close it out. So
How many minutes did he get?
I told him he can do 10 to 15, however much he felt comfortable doing.
Man.
I called him for a last minute about 2 months ago, and him and another student from the previous classes, when you guys were still doing the comedy class. For those who are listening right now, since this is our first inaugural episode, I teach comedy classes over here in San Antonio, Texas, over at the big club. It's called LOL. It's the LOL Comedy Club, and they're part of the improv comedy chain. Specifically the Texas branch. So anyways, I run a comedy class there, and these 2 were in my comedy class, and I got to meet them. And I like them. They're good people. We're all roughly in the same age group, and we all love comedy, and we're all working professionals. So that's why we're doing the podcast. But the gentleman I was talking about, Tom, who was in the previous class to you guys, I needed somebody to fill time, and I needed anybody at that point. And him and another student came in, and I told them they can do 5 minutes each after the host, just to kind of fill time. And they both showed up, and I just said, I'll give you the light at 5, and then just wrap it up.
Did crush it?
Tom did 8 minutes, and he got big laughs. So, yes, he crushed it for where he was. And then Orlando did really good, too, and I was very impressed. He did about 7 minutes, so they both did more time than they were anticipating to do. And because I saw him do 8 minutes, and I see him constantly hustling, showing up at mics and shows and being supportive. There's another comedian in the local area, Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah. Selena's funny.
She's really funny. She also took the class previous to that.
Yeah.
And she's hilarious. She's also blind.
Not the singer-songwriter.
No, not the singer-songwriter.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah, no. Selena is originally from Del Rio. She was a radio DJ.
So she got a great story.
She lost her eyesight due to diabetes, unfortunately. And then she's a comic out here. She took the class. She was hilarious. When Steve Trevino, who's a touring headliner, when he was doing...
Shout out to Steve Trevino.
Yeah, Steve Trevino, who's an amazing dude, amazing comic. He had a fundraiser over at Tobin to help raise money for the Kerrville flood.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was him, Gabriel Iglesias, Los Lonely Boys, Lyle Lovett, and a bunch of other people. And she got to perform on that. Steve liked her so much, put her on that show.
She is funny.
Yeah,
like,
and she killed it.
It's natural. I saw her do an open mic at a local spot here called the Elbow Room, and a dude went up before her, gave a topic, went off. She comes up, mind you, she's blind, so it's not like she can cheat and read her phone or nothing like that. Everything off the top of the head, hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious woman.
Do you think when you're blind, like that becomes more
heightened senses?
Yeah.
They say.
Like
Well,
we were at a
it
restaurant
is.
and a young lady, she took 6 orders and I was like, man, you memorized that? And she was like, oh yeah, you know. It takes time or whatever. I was like, man, I couldn't do that. I would be lost after the second person gave their order.
Well, you got to memorize your act as a comic.
Yeah, I know, but that's different. I'm shit at that too, actually. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I should get tested for something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's she did it and she was good. Anyways, Tom drives her around a lot. And
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he picks her up.
That
and
guy.
Oh, I
drops her
didn't know
off.
that.
So yeah, I mean, I was like, to me, like, having been doing comedy for 20 years, I've been all over the country. I've traveled, I've headlined, I've featured, I opened. I've done every position in a comedy show, and one of the things that got me a lot of work was just being helpful.
Yeah.
Showing up.
Yeah.
Being there, being professional, being helpful, and of course being funny. I mean, that has to be there too.
I mean, it helps a little bit.
But all those other things, they also help you to get stage time and get you work. And I got a lot of work because I offered to give people rides. I showed up on time. I showed up to help put the show together.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they needed. You needed chairs put up, I would do that. So whenever I see people do that, it lets me know that they really want to do this. So since I saw Tom doing all this hustle, I took him on and he hosted and he did a great job. And so now I know I trust him. Plus I called him last minute because the guy who was supposed to do it had to cancel. And so I know 2 times I've called him. He showed up last minute when I needed him. And
Shout
he
out
did
to
the
Tom
job.
Sanchez.
So as a comedian, that's something you want to do. If you're starting out and you're listening to this podcast, just know that being professional, showing up in clutch, and being funny and being helpful, all those things matter. Okay, so keep that in mind. Those are just little tips for people who are watching our podcast and going, "Hey, how do I get into comedy? How do I move forward?" Those are some tips I would give you. I've told them that.
What if? Okay, so an opener is supposed to be somebody like fluffs them up, right? Gets them going. Yeah.
Sure. If you want to use porn terms,
Fluffing it up.
so like you're our fluffer for the podcast.
What if there's somebody that
Producer is cracking up back
there? Somebody that's purposely not funny, and then people are like, oh, and then the next person is like, oh God, thank God. Like, is that a thing? Because I could show up.
It don't work like that, bro.
But has anybody ever tried it?
Most people are purposely funny.
Right.
Now, whether it actually happens, that's different. They can be unsuspectingly unfunny.
Like, what about cancer?
And then you have to pick up the pieces.
Which I'm not gonna put a name out there, but from my perspective, that is what I saw that Friday night at that comedy club, and the audience was off when me and you were there. Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
The host was not.
Set it up bad.
He was
Yeah. And then it just kind of made it really tough for everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd was already hard.
Yeah.
He didn't help at all.
So yeah, those
So
things.
it doesn't work, I guess.
No, it does not work.
So yeah, you don't want to do that. If you intentionally bomb for just because you think it's funny, yeah, you're probably not going to get called back to work a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really, really good friends with the headliner and it makes him laugh too. So, which I do know a comic who used to purposely book a really unfunny guy because it made him laugh to see him struggle.
That's what I'm talking about.
wild.
You're like, look
But he was extremely funny, and so it didn't matter. By the time it got to him, he was killing it. He was crushing it. So yeah. So I don't think the comic himself intentionally wanted to be unfunny. It was just the it was the byproduct. But yeah. But I did 2 shows in like I said, Bastrop and Georgetown, and they're at these. It's a movie theater chain called Film Alley. So you
Never heard of them.
Yeah, so it's basically like an Alamo Draft House or
sweet,
or Flicks or any of those.
They serve the food while you watch the movie.
Yeah, they serve food while you watch the movie. Really comfortable seats.
So was it like you were in the movie theater? And
Georgetown, yes.
You were where the screen
Georgetown,
was.
yes.
You were where the screen was.
That is correct.
That's sweet.
So
I like
Georgetown, we were up front in the bottom, and everybody else was filling out the rows. You know, and that was kind of interesting. So it was weird because those rooms are built to absorb sound. So that they don't go to the next theater. So when you're doing your jokes and people are laughing, no, you can hear. The problem is, like, once you talk, like, your voice goes out and cuts real quick. So there's no, like, residual echoes or anything like that. And then when the people laugh, when they're done laughing, like, it's like a hard stop because you don't hear any extra. You know how the laughter kind of settles in the air until it fades out?
Yeah.
Not in here. Like, when it's done, it's done.
Interesting.
And so you got to get used to that rhythm. So it's a different rhythm. So I was like, all right, I got to treat it kind of like a movie. Take them on an adventure. Take them on a fun journey, right? So I treated it like I was just, like I was a character in a movie. And
Nice.
so it worked out. And then yesterday's show is in one of the side rooms that that they have there in the at the movie theater. So it's kind of like a party room.
Oh, okay.
And they turned it into a comedy club. So now they have a comedy club, a bowling alley, and movie theaters and a bar.
Wow.
So it's a pretty
one-stop shop.
Yeah. So it's a cool little separate room, and you perform in there. And it was me, it was Patrick, Christopher, and then the gentleman who runs the shows, and he popped in and he hosted. So it was a really good show, really fun. Had some fun with the crowd. There was a guy there. It came out that he took a dump on a balcony at his casino hotel in Louisiana. And
Just the one time?
He claims it never happened, but the people who were with him said that that it was him. And the entire show, he was denying that he took a dump on the balcony of a casino hotel.
Like, so did he take a dump on the balcony?
On the
or
balcony.
Was he like hanging his?
No, on the balcony.
Oh.
Like in the vicinity of the balcony.
So he thought the balcony was the bathroom.
That's what. Apparently, he doesn't remember this.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was too drunk and he doesn't remember this.
Can I tell a quick anecdote?
I've done that
because
before.
today is actually my 18-year anniversary with my husband. The night we got married, we went to the
took a shit on the
hotel. No,
Let her tell the just. Come on.
I'm sorry.
there we go. Shout out to David Montano. I was so drunk, and we were.
You took a shit on the balcony.
No, no, but we had an ice chest with some nice champagne in it that my in-laws had given us, and I had to pee so bad. I was in my wedding dress, and the key wouldn't work,
The card.
or whatever, so he had to go figure that out. I had to pee so bad, I friggin' pulled up that wedding dress,
And you peed in the chest.
peed in the
Ice
ice chest. I'm sorry.
And you always want to judge me. You're not the person I thought you were.
Hey, I was drunk. Nobody's the person they should be when they're drunk.
Well, there you go.
So it happens, there's not bathrooms that guy had a bathroom somewhere.
Right, the bathroom was like right there.
That guy had no excuse.
However, I was one of my first shows with Steve Trevino was in Sacramento, California. And I was doing the punchline. I was hosting, and he was headlining, and there was a couple other guys who were featuring. But his cousin had came with him, and we got we drank at the club, and then afterwards we all left. And then the next day he came in, he was laughing, everybody was laughing. We're like, what happened? And he tells us a story. His cousin got so drunk that he woke up in the middle of the night and opened the fridge.
Oh, man.
Pulled out the crisper, sat down, and took a dump in the crisper.
boy.
That is an extra special group.
He thought he was opening the door to the restroom and then he was pulling the toilet seat out or something, but he had no clue. And then he peed on the house plant.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was a whole thing. And anyway, so it's not unheard of.
No, it's not.
So can we segue
But at least-
into bathroom etiquette on that, please?
Yeah,
Because-
sure, we'll do that. But at least that one, you know what I mean? You can chalk it up to he was drunk, and at least he did it in the room, you know what I mean? But and he didn't deny it. He didn't deny that it happened. Like he
in the refrigerator?
in the refrigerator.
I don't think there's any reprieve.
But just throw it out. There's no cleaning it. Just throw the whole refrigerator
But since
away.
we're going to talk about
Well, it's not
bathroom
like
etiquette,
nobody-
since we're talking about bathroom etiquette,
Okay.
at least he closed the crisper.
Oh, that's
Come on.
nice.
Yeah, hey, at least he closed it.
What a gentleman.
So
That
let's,
is marriage material right there.
so go ahead, take it away. Bathroom etiquette,
Okay,
Laura.
so it's let's see, what the fuck day was this? Maybe a Saturday morning, right? Keep in mind, I have a 5-year-old and I have a 13-year-old. The girl is 5, Milan. The boy is 13, Max. Okay, so first of all, he's sleeping in the living room. I'm sleeping in the bedroom. I don't know where my husband is. It doesn't matter. He announces, I am going to fart.
Your son?
Yes, he's announcing his fart, which, is actually an improvement.
He's 5?
No, he's 13. He's a wild animal. He's 13. I'm going to fart. And I was like, okay, royalty. That's fine. That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's an improvement because otherwise you just do it like anywhere in the kitchen while you're eating,
At
anywhere.
least he gives you a heads up.
Exactly. No, this is an improvement. So I'm actually proud of him.
That's better than just
But
doing it.
I'm actually proud of him, but I am making fun of it all morning. Like, here's the royal fart. And so then my daughter, she has to go to the bathroom. She always sleeps with me, so she gets out of bed and she goes and, Mom, I slid into the toilet. God, no.
The 5-year-old?
Yes, Max. What? You didn't put the toilet down, and so my poor sweet baby girl has got the pee of 1,000 men because God knows when that freaking thing was cleaned, and she slid into the toilet. And I just can't. I'm so mad. And I'm like, Max, you need to go wipe her butt, like right now. And of course, he doesn't want to do it. I don't want to get out of bed. So she took a shower at some point.
Poor little baby.
So
I know.
So what's your statement on that?
My statement is put the effing freaking seat down.
Nope.
How hard is it?
Nope.
Well, you're a
Nope.
bachelor. Who cares what you
Nope. Even when I wasn't a bachelor. Nope.
do? Why?
Nope.
You're the one that had to put it up.
You're the one who put it down.
Exactly.
It's
Goes
the
both
purpose
ways.
of it.
Yep.
Goes both ways, ladies.
Close it.
Let me tell you something, ladies. It's called a relationship. There's two people in the relationship.
With the toilet?
So if one has to do something, then the other has to do something.
I agree.
So
Toilet?
what I did, I'm going to tell you what I did because obviously this was on your mind. So you think it's our responsibility to do all the work, where all you have to do is just show up and sit down. So again, this is women, taking a little bit of narcissism into the bathroom. So what I did to combat this, like, okay, so this is my job. I'm responsible for how you sit down in the bathroom. I said, okay, well, if I got to put something down, then you got to put something up for when I got to do it. So what I do now is, I don't do it now, but I did it when I was married, is
When he was
I
married,
put
by the
it
way.
all down.
Same here. Same thing.
It's like I
close
put
it,
it,
everything.
you have to put it up for yourself.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's
So-
different. Okay, I can
So
go
you
with
st- so you still have-
everybody puts it down.
So you still have to pick something up.
Yep.
I can go with everybody puts it down, but what is the purpose?
I'm talking
of
about
it?
the lid and all, everything.
That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is the expectation that I'm going to touch that after you've pissed on it. Okay, what about? Okay. Let me ask you this.
You sit on it too.
I don't. Well, not.
You don't miss. Is
But
what
why
you're
is
saying.
okay? Then why is there two? Why is there one to put down? What's the purpose?
You talking about what's the purpose of the cover?
No, not the cover. I know the purpose of the cover is to cover, but what's the purpose of the middle, the median, the seat itself?
The median is.
You don't want to sit on the cold porcelain bowl.
But could you pee with it down?
You could.
Okay.
If
If
you're
you
a
got-
savage.
If you got good aim,
If you're a savage.
if you got good
If
aim,
you're good at your craft, then you should be able to get it in. You know.
Well, all the way up
If you-
is for
if you
urination. The second layer is for defecation.
If-
And the third layer is for when you're sitting there and you're clipping your toenails or you're
Ew.
drying yourself off or blow drying your hair. That's what the third one is for.
First
Yeah.
of all, if you suck at it, you should sit down like a lady.
So that's all I'm saying. So I
down like a lady.
added the extra step up. Okay, you want me to put it down? Well, you still have to turn around and lift something up.
Exactly.
So, we're all
Totally
working
agree.
in this. So,
This might have been one of the reasons.
so no, I'm the
Shots fired.
madam.
I'm just saying, I don't know. What happened. The toilet is
Little
a big
note
deal.
to you. I instigated the divorce. It wasn't her.
Was it because of the toilet that she
It
wouldn't
wasn't
put the whole
because of
thing down?
toilet. It was because of a lot of things, but it's just
So it wasn't a deal breaker.
you ladies assume that we're going to do everything for you, and all you do is just show up. And
Okay, then.
I drew the line on that. That's where I drew the line. I said, okay, I'll put the seat down,
Boundaries.
but I'm putting it all down.
Yeah.
I don't expect anybody to do anything for me, but if you're gonna flip and change my seating situation,
Why don't I mean like what's the difference? When you back out of a parking space, don't you look behind you?
no, that's
Boom. There you
That's why,
go.
that's why I'm not a good driver.
I forget. Yeah, you
Well,
did.
did you not hear?
I was thinking the same thing.
That's why
I forgot who I'm talking to right
I'm
here.
not an expert at driving.
Well, because the same thing
There's a
happens at
video.
work. So I work at a veterinary clinic, and at work, I'm the only guy up front. It's just me and the office manager. We're both men, and we use the general bathroom with all the ladies. So the ladies went out of their way to put a sign, which was very passive aggressive, that everybody needs to put the seat down. And I was like, screw you guys. This is a two-way street. I'm not your husband. I'm not your boyfriend. I have no obligation to do work for you.
Right.
So I said, I did the same thing. I put all the seat down. I said, okay, if we're going to play this game, you still got to do work. So I put it all the way down. And they wanted to say something. I said,
They
what?
couldn't.
What?
Right.
Say what?
It's
So
closed.
they didn't. It's closed.
You know,
So
all that being said, I'm a hoverer
At your own house?
sometimes.
it's weird.
I
But,
hover.
but
You got some strong-ass
women do
thighs.
that.
Yeah, I do. They're fantastic.
Have you ever pissed in a urinal wearing flip-flops?
She's celebrating her
day.
18th year anniversary. You're not going to find out there.
Yeah, no.
She pushed
Only-
out 2 kids out of those
You know
things.
what? So let me ask you this: you want to pee with everything up, right?
Correct.
So is it not? Do you wipe after?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think everybody does.
Well, I do that because it's just
Because
so
I-
that keeps it clean.
Because you know what?
Because if I don't, then it just builds up and builds up and
Because
builds up.
I the hover.
What are we wiping?
So if you
The
bowl.
I zoned out.
And in any
the bowl.
case, the bowl.
Like, do you
Oh,
wipe the
yeah.
bowl after
Well,
you're
keep in
done?
mind, I have a 13-year-old who's a wild freaking animal.
That's why you got to train him, or he's going to be one of those guys that you're sitting here talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They learn from their parents.
Yeah.
Well,
They learn from the parents.
Yeah. Starts
So-
at home.
Yep.
You're a teacher.
yeah.
So I keep.
I don't wanna teach
I have. I have bleach wipes and I have regular wipes. The bleach wipes are for the toilet bowl.
You know what? I'm going to send him with you.
Oh, no.
Like a week. Clean him right up for me.
But yeah, we do. That's how I do it, and that's how I settled it. Was I put all the seats down? I put all of them,
All right.
every layer. So
You
it's
know what? We're going to circle back.
There's-
this week. I'm gonna have a house.
there's no
meeting.
reason why
I'm gonna have a home
sh-
meeting.
Sure, you know what? Yeah, you're a princess in your head, but
So
it's
my
like
so my 5-year-old is now expected to
you need
move
to train her.
everything.
Yeah, you have. It's the same thing my mom did to me when I was a little kid.
Shout out to
when I
Al's
was
mom. Big
when
Al's
I was
mom.
5 years old. When I was 5 years old, my mom took me to a home ec class where I had to learn how to cook and clean.
Yeah, I took one of those.
Did you
too.
take one of those? Yeah, when you were little. And my mom took
They
me
do
to
that
one
in
of
high
those.
school, don't
and
they?
no, they got rid of all
Middle
that.
school.
They got rid of that.
Yeah, I graduated in '95, and by the time I was in high school, we didn't do home ec. Home ec was in middle school.
Go like this. You have something on your head.
There you go, as a fly.
Someone's trying to eat you.
So I asked my mom when I was little. I was like, "What?" I said, "I'm having." She goes, "You enjoying this?" I'm like, "Yeah, but why? Why are we doing this?" Right? Because it didn't make sense to me. Because I didn't know anybody else who was doing it. It was just me. And then she said, "Sit down." And then she looked at me, and she goes, "I am taking you to these classes because one day when you're older, you're going to meet a woman." who's just like me, who doesn't want to cook, who doesn't want to clean, who doesn't want to do all those traditional things. And I need to know that my son has those skills so that he eats and he doesn't live in a dirty house.
Shout out to Big Ass Mom.
So
I already
she
said it.
she set me up for women like this. So who don't clean the toilet bowl.
You know what? You have a point. I will clean anything. I don't mind cleaning. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty damn good at it. I can do it in efficient time. Here's what I do. I pile everything into a big pile of shit, and then I organize it. And that way you get an area clean pretty quick, but you just have to, like, you know.
When you wash, do you put all your clothes up the same day? That's a no.
All right, this is a podcast.
So, you know what? I don't know. This is unprecedented because we haven't really talked about it. But if and when we post this, I hope we post this. I would like to ask anybody to comment on their opinion, please. Of do we everything down? Men's supposed to put it back where it was. Should women put it back where it was?
But here's the caveat also to my situation. So it was just me and my wife. We didn't have kids, so it was just me and her. And the last house we shared was, actually both the houses we had, actually every place we lived here in San Antonio had 2 bathrooms. So for all intents and purposes, we dedicated that the ensuite was my wife's.
Right.
So if she has to use the restroom, that was her personal restroom.
She had all her makeup stuff.
Everything she needed was in that restroom. I did not touch that toilet. That was her toilet. It was always down. Whatever she wanted to do with that bathroom, all hers.
Yours was cleaner than hers.
Mine was the hallway bathroom, and that was all mine. So I had my own personal shower. I had my own personal sinks. I had my own personal toilet. So she never used that one. The only one that we had to compromise on was the downstairs bathroom. So it was a 2.5 bath. So the one downstairs was the one that we shared because neither of us wanted to walk upstairs sometimes. So that one was the one where I had to put the seats all the way down. So that's the one we compromised on. But when we were upstairs, she had hers, I had mine. So generally I didn't get up to use the restroom in the middle of the night. But
I hate it when there's a restroom right next to the kitchen or the dining area.
that's weird.
You can hear everybody's like all sorts of
that is kind of weird.
And like it's so gross. And ours is right. I mean, it's a townhouse. It's like probably.
But also
So
that
gross.
was for us. That the bottom bathroom was that was strictly for urination. Like if
Urination station only,
it was
people.
the urination station. If anybody, if you had to do anything more,
No code
more
brown
involved,
over here. No code
that's
brown.
what upstairs was for.
You need to get a little plaque in your bathroom for your son, and it says, "If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy."
No, that's. My son doesn't like
Did
to
your grandmother
read,
have one
so
of those
that's
in
not
her
gonna work.
restroom?
I think so. One of them
I
did.
have
That's a grandma thing.
Yeah.
I've
one
heard
of
if
them
it's
did.
if it's yellow,
Let it mellow.
Let it mellow. If it's brown,
If it's
That
brown,
was my
flush it
grandfather.
down. So that's
That was my grandfather because we had a
That's-
septic tank.
that's an old school. Very
Yeah,
old school.
we had a septic tank, so he wasn't big on. He was like kind of preserving water and stuff like that. So yeah.
I feel like that's a Southern or African American thing because I've only heard that from.
Yeah, I used to hate it. You walk in there and it's just golden yellow. You're like, oh. Yeah.
But that's I'm not gonna lie. That having grown up in California, we're conservationists, so like you don't waste water.
Yeah.
It's an important resource.
Yeah.
So
here in Texas,
I
we don't
get
even
it.
so
have-
as a single guy, sometimes I don't flush because it's a waste of resources.
well,
so
We'll deal with that
but
when
I'm
we
a
run
single
out of water.
I'm a single guy.
I'm single too.
I'm a single dude, so I
my
can let it sit
13-year-old
there.
will like preserve it like he's proud of it. Like I don't know. He's got his own thing upstairs. I'm
he's got a
I'm
collection.
like, why are you showing
Like,
this
I'm not
off like a
sa-
monkey? God, you freaking filthy
I'm not leaving it
animal.
there for months or weeks.
I
It's
swear
there
to
for
God.
like a day.
What, like where?
A day at the max.
We've been talking about
Why would-
toilets and bathrooms for like 10 minutes.
She wanted to bring it up.
My sweet baby girl fell in the toilet and she's traumatized. I
you
think that
sanitize her?
traumatized her more than the accident. I fell in the toilet. She's so tiny. She could have been flushed for God's sake.
That's funny. Well, she learns.
I hope.
But
Were we able to show the picture of her just so people have a reference of my sweet baby girl?
I don't. Nobody should know what your
No one
daughter
should know what
looked
your
like.
daughter looks
Yeah,
like, yeah.
that's
She's adorable.
there's creeps out there
Nobody
on the
wants
internet.
it.
No offense to
Well, I
whoever's
thought we were
listening,
gonna show
but
pictures.
we were, but I decided against that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just for safety's sakes, we don't need your daughter's face out there.
For real.
All right.
All right, but anyways,
She was in the toilet.
you want to do you want to flush that topic?
That's one
Always
we're
in
gonna
the mind,
flush.
always in the heart. Let's
Yeah,
move
we're
on.
gonna get that.
You got something you want to talk about there?
I'm trying to see what happened with me this week. It rained all week, so I worked in the rain. That fucking sucked. I drive trucks.
Trucking?
Yeah, I haul cars. And was it Monday, Tuesday? I was like wet, everything wet.
Yeah.
Like underwear wet, socks wet, shoes
Just
wet.
because you have to load everything, right?
Yeah, I'm in it. There's
Yeah.
no, let me wait for this pass by. No, it's get out there and get it done. So 3 days. It was wild because, what was it? Last week, we had our heater on, then it rained, and then like Thursday, air conditioners right back on.
Wow. You use a
Texas
heater?
weather. Yeah. I hate being cold. I get teased about it all the time because I grew up in Michigan. It's like, oh, you're from Michigan. You should be used to it. Cold is cold. I don't care where you're at. Cold is cold.
Yeah, I'm pretty tolerable to the cold. Like the only time it was when we get those really bad cold snaps where it gets down to like
Talking about here in Texas?
yeah, like when it got down to like 30 and 20.
When it snowed?
That's when it was like, okay, it's a little colder than it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm tolerable up until about 40 degrees.
But I'll put on like sweaters.
Yeah.
I'll put on pajamas and thermals, and I'll wear socks and stuff like that. So I'm fairly warm. But
Yeah.
like when it got really cold, I turned on my what do you call
The
it?
stove?
My stove. Yeah, that
Yeah, a
was
lot
it.
of people do that.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to waste all the gas.
And see, the thing with it is, I work outside, so it's different when you work outside.
Oh yeah, your core temperature gets really low.
For y'all, it's like, oh my God, it's cold outside. You just run into the car and back inside the house. I'm outside in the cold all day.
So you have to unload the truck by yourself? You don't have like a little helper with you?
Nope, just
A
me.
little minion?
No little minions,
Seems
just
like
me.
you should.
Solo work.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to unload a truck?
About 30 minutes. That's it.
You ever time yourself in a little game?
Sometimes, yep. But a lot of times, if you get into a hurry, you end up damaging something. Yeah, then you lose money out of your check.
And that's on you?
Yeah, you're responsible for
Damn.
that stuff.
Yep, lose bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
America.
very, very meticulous job. Like when I got into it, I was like, oh yeah, my mom's borderline OCD. I'm a real neat freak. I'm real clean. Nah, I ain't got shit on this. It's been a struggle my whole career.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
And how
hard.
long have you been doing this?
When did COVID end?
20, depending on
Never.
what state you were in.
Never. It's still going.
Here, Texas.
Here?
Yeah.
I think it was like 6 months into it.
I may have it right now. I don't know.
Like what was that? 2021?
It was I was pregnant with my daughter, like when it like spread. So
When was Snowmageddon?
2020?
When was
2020.
Snowmageddon?
2021.
2021.
2021.
No, actually, it was
No,
it
it
was
was
the end.
2021.
It was the end of 2020 because she was a tiny
No,
baby.
it snowed in 2020, but the
Snowmageddon was
the
in-
snowstorm was in 2020.
That was in February.
Snowstorm
Yeah.
was in 2020.
No,
It was. Yes,
No.
it was.
It was in February because I
It
know
snowed in 2020, but the big storm was in
with
2021.
the blackout when
Yeah.
we had no power in San Antonio and all of that.
You
That was
guys are probably right, but
I know
yeah.
I'm right.
you know you're right.
I know I'm right. Because that was the year I got divorced, so
he remembers
I
that.
remember.
Oh, okay, that's kind of a milestone.
Yeah,
I
that's a
might
milestone.
forget.
Because I missed a show because of that, because I was supposed to drive to Austin to fly out to Arizona to work with Steve, and the roads were iced over. I could not. I drove like 5 minutes outside of my house, and I was just doing this, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to make it to the Austin
Yeah.
airport on time. There's no way."
Okay,
February 13th to the 17th,
2021.
Boom.
I forgot you were there.
So that's when I.
This is a lady that doesn't know how to turn around and check for people driving.
See, February 11th.
What? It's 2021.
2021. Shout out to producer Evan.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's when I started car hauling. That was it. Because when I was done with training, I remember we came from Houston, got back to Austin because that's where I was living in Dripping Springs. My trainer lived in Austin, and we had parked our cars in Austin. Got to my car, everything was iced over. That's how I remember. That's when I started. So 2021 was when I started hauling cars. Since 26. So I've been doing it for 5 years. Not long. Still a rookie in it, but man, I've torn up some shit.
Yeah, I did all that in the Marine Corps, so I did logistics in the Marine Corps, and we had to load the 5 tons and the 10 tons, and then we also had to load all the planes.
Yeah.
And then we had to load the trains, and then do helo lifts, helo drops.
I used to do that.
Yeah, so
You know-
you know what it's like, and it's not always warm when you do that either.
Man,
I don't think maybe do y'all discuss this? Like, do you have like a truck driver, like friend group? Because you guys really y'all have more control than you think. Like, you think about it, you want to shut down this government.
They've done it before.
They've done it.
They've done it.
Stop. Like,
It's happened.
They've done it out in
here are our
California.
negotiations,
And they also did it in Canada
They
during
did.
COVID.
Yep. They
Yeah.
did in Canada and yeah.
But that's more for like what you guys want, right? I mean, like as far as benefits.
it's
and
more-
whatever. I'm
no,
saying if you
it's-
want to you want the government to do something for everybody.
That's what they did
y'all
it for.
can stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because
So
of
what came of it? I didn't see any benefits.
nothing really.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
So people just.
Well, it's like
Didn't
the
give a shit.
airlines when the airlines strike, they've busted it up every time.
Mm-hmm.
The government came in and said, "No, you're going to work."
They can't force people to work.
It's
Like,
Look
you're
at
gonna
TSA.
die-
They didn't get paid for like 2
No,
months.
So it's a
I know,
federal
but they're basically
agency.
saying we're not going to get paid.
Well,
you're basically.
well, that's why a lot of TSA people called in sick. They
Yeah.
use all their sick days.
That's a question I want to ask y'all. So if you work for TSA and the government shut down and you're not getting a check, what are you doing? Are you going to work?
For me, I'd probably do the same thing everybody else did. Like if I'm working and I know I don't need the days off for anything, yeah, I might use my days off or my sick days or my vacation days or whatnot. You know what I mean? It's
There's-
like for me,
yeah.
I would do that.
There's too many factors. I mean, do they get back pay?
Yes. Yeah.
So when it all clears up, they'll,
Yeah, when it all
they'll
clears
get
up.
eventually paid again.
Everybody
I,
gets
I
their money.
probably if I had the days like Al, I would use them. If I didn't, I have. That's the importance of keeping good credit. You can get money if you need money as long as you pay the shit back. But yeah, I would.
So
keep
you go to
working.
work?
If I'm eventually going to get paid again, I get back pay. Sure.
So you're a month in, no paycheck. Those credit cards they're behind.
Well, I
They're-
have a husband. Okay.
She's got a point
She
there.
got a good
But
point.
we're also like in a situation where
Are you
we
union?
have a lot more.
I don't know what the TSA is union.
No, are you union?
Oh no,
Have
we're
you ever
not.
been union?
Where I work at, I did have. I worked at a paper mill. We were
Did
union.
you guys ever strike?
Nah, they never struck.
Okay. You're a teacher. You have a union.
No.
No,
Texas is a
doesn't have a union?
non-union.
So
We have like you can pay into stuff, but it's not the same. Like they'll protect you legally and stuff, but. But hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. But we live in a time now that you can do these side hustles just to keep money coming in. Is it fair? Absolutely not. No. But my point is, the reason why I ask is, and teachers get really scared of doing anything about their situation. Well, the kids need us. What's going to happen with the kids? Which is, I get it.
Fuck them
But-
kids.
I don't disagree.
which I get it, but the people have more power than they care to
Oh,
use.
dude.
that I agree with.
That,
You know.
oh yes,
That I
can talk
100%
all day
agree.
about that.
I just talk because a lot of stuff's going on. I don't want to get political, but
no, we're gonna get political.
I don't know if this is the time, but
Well, so
people got to rise up, man. You got
What I
to
was
stop
getting
buying
to-
that Amazon and shit, and
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like,
really want something.
At the bottom line, we are all responsible for everything
While I
that
empty my
happens
cart.
in this world. So, like everybody who bitches and moans about like billionaires and millionaires, it's like you're the dummies who go onto Amazon and
Yeah,
buy
you're
everything.
supporting
If you're
these mother-
worried about the mom and pop shops in your town shutting down, if you're worried about all the restaurants and bars shutting down in your town, there's a reason why. It's not because those are lousy, but sometimes they are.
Sometimes
Sometimes
they are.
you-
But a lot of it is because we all shop at these conglomerate markets.
yeah.
Why? Because it's convenient.
Convenient.
We'd rather be convenienced
Yep.
than inconvenienced. And
Yep.
we would rather lose our local flavors and our local identity to national corporations
Yeah.
over convenience.
Yeah, totally.
We are lazy,
Amen, brother.
spoiled
Say it.
human beings. And if you are angry about billionaires, stop buying on Amazon.
Why is he
Stop
looking at
David,
me?
you better
at Walmart.
empty that cart.
Stop buying at McDonald's. Stop buying at all these conglomerate markets.
Yeah.
All right, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You don't like that there's all these billionaires? Stop making them billionaires.
Yeah,
Why don't you go make somebody
totally. You
local
have the power.
Oh, it costs an extra 40 cents.
That's why I love San
You,
Antonio. We
you
got
want
H-E-B.
me to pay more
I'm not-
taxes because you don't want to spend an extra 40 cents? But you
love
want me to
H-E-B.
spend
I
40
love
cents
H-E-B.
extra in a
We should-
taxes?
HEB, if you want to sponsor over here, HEB. We don't, I haven't. I hate.
I got a joke in my
hate
set about
Walmart.
HEB. I got like two HEB jokes in my set.
It's
HEB,
kind of
shout out,
I don't want to say
He's from California. He can't speak.
I can't speak.
No.
Because I live here. I've lived here for 11 years.
He's basically us. Come on,
My
11
family's from
years?
Texas.
Okay, we will let you slide.
But here's the deal.
Here's a pass. But I can feel the HEB hate coming.
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to hate on HEB.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't. It's like talking about it's kind of like, what's the word for it? It's oversaturated. Ever since Rogan and all of them came here to town, they have nothing but pump up HEB and Buc-ee's and stuff. So
Man.
everybody
Buc-ee's is trash.
everybody that's moved out here
Screw Buc-ee's.
from
I hate-
somewhere
I don't
else,
like- I'm
they
sorry.
all talk about it. But here's the deal. When I first moved out, I moved out here before any of those guys did. I beat the Rogan Rush.
Yeah.
All right.
The Rogan Rush.
I got here in 2015. I told my wife, I said, hey, let's go get some groceries at Trader Joe's. And she
Boo.
goes, we can do that. And says, but she said, I've been going to a place called HEB.
Shout out
I
to
was like, What's
HEB.
Been going out to HEB.
And she goes, well, they don't really have Trader Joe's out here. There's like one, and it's like 30 minutes away. And I was like, well, can we just go? Because that's what I know. Right, so there were certain things at
Aw,
Trader Joe's that
he was
I got.
nostalgic.
Trader Joe's is pretty awesome.
It's not a bad store. Aldi's is pretty good.
Well, yeah, they got unique stuff.
Aldi's and
I
Trader
love
Joe's
it.
are the same company. So we went there, and I was like, okay. And then eventually, it was too far. I was like, okay, I get it. So we went to the HEB. And in the beginning, I called it the Heeb because I didn't know
Yeah.
any different.
I got a homeboy that calls it Heeb.
I call it Mr. I call it Mr. Butts.
Mr. Butts, yeah. I got a
But
homeboy that calls it Heeb.
we started going, and I was walking around. I was like, oh, wow, this is the way grocery stores used to be.
Amazing.
And I was just like, I miss this.
Best grocery store ever.
Local, they buy local.
Yeah, and I was like,
I always get the HEB brands.
The
I was
HEB
totally impressed by all that.
This is what sold me on
You
HEB.
got, right, because you've lived outside of this state. So
Yeah.
and you're older,
I
so you remember when grocery stores all used to be like HEB.
Yeah. So what sold me on HEB was I used to eat. Well, I'm lactose intolerant now, so I can't. But I used to eat for real.
Shout out to lactose. I mean, not shout out.
The Doritos, the HEB brand Doritos. So I grabbed a bag of those at the checkout, and I get home, I pop them open. They have so much dust on them.
Okay.
Oh my God. They make Doritos look like plain potato chips. That is no cap. They have that much seasoning and dust on them. I was like, whoa. And I've been sold everything that is HEB brand. 9 times out of 10, it is better than the name brand.
I like a lot of the HEB brands. Their tortillas are better.
Yeah.
Tortillas.
I like the tortillas better. They used to
Shout
have
out tortillas.
They used to have a popcorn brand.
What did you say?
Shout out tortillas.
Shout out to tortillas.
HEB brand tortillas.
Oh yeah, the tortillas.
Get them while they're hot.
Well, the tortillas in general out here are so much better than outside of Texas. Like you guys don't even know how good you got it if you were born and raised out here.
California don't have good tortillas?
Not like out here, no.
What?
No, dude.
Y'all Mexicans over there?
There's a lot of different types of Mexicans, dude. That's like saying every black person came from the same spot in Africa.
Okay, let's.
Not every African is the same.
Well, I mean,
And that's it for our
A guy from Nigeria does not look like a guy from Somalia.
But tortillas are tortillas.
Okay, yeah.
No, they're not.
Okay, let's get some.
It's
commentary.
flour and water.
No, the
it is.
tortillas,
Come on, you've
the
been to
tortillas in
different-
California are like the women in California. They're thin, they're white, they're wrapped in plastic. The tortillas out here, they're fresher.
They're thick.
They're,
Hey.
they have
Gotta use
they're a little
that.
bit
Like-
thicker. They have more fat and they have brown spots.
I like tortas. You know Charles Barkley has a thing
I don't know
for
what to say to that.
He Charles
Thanks.
Barkley has beef with San Antonio women. You know that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an ongoing joke.
Yeah. I mean, he's not
Like
far.
he
He's
is.
not,
He's
he's
not
not
joking,
wrong.
but-
He's not joking though.
He's not wrong though. I mean, there are some now before you unclick and unsubscribe, there are some beautiful women here. There are also some
There's also as
All women are beautiful, no
In
matter
their
what your
own right.
size.
Yeah.
Be
you know who
kind.
says that?
Ugly people? Ugly?
My brother's an accountant, a CPA, tax guy. And you know what he tells me? He goes, you always hear that saying, money doesn't buy happiness. He says,
That's
you know who
bullshit.
says that?
Broke
Poor people.
Right.
Poor people say that because I know 100 things that money can buy that'll make me happy.
Man, people say, "Oh, money won't change me." I say, "Bullshit! Money's going to change me. It's going to change my
Money
address.
changes
It's going to change
everybody.
my car drive. It's going to change the shoes I wear. It's going to change the women I date. Money is definitely going to change me."
Oh, totally.
You know
man.
what? If I would not be a good rich person. I would die. I would die an early death.
You say that
Don't lean too
all
hard.
women are beautiful or all people. I mean,
I say all people. I say all
let's just say it all
women. Men
people,
are-
right?
Wow.
So we also that's the politically correct. But we say that, right? We went through this whole transition of body positivity, right? Where we're supposed to love everybody for who they are in their body. And then the minute Ozempic came out, what happened? Oh, hey, I want to be skinny again. Remember all these fat actresses who were like, you got to love me for who I am. Then Ozempic came out, and all of a sudden it's like,
Where's
get
the
that.
rest of you?
who I really was a skinny woman trapped in a fat woman's
Maybe
body.
they had health issues and they had to lose some weight or they would die.
Yeah, their
Okay?
health issues
There could be many
was their
things.
mouth kept opening.
And that's the thing.
These guys are okay. These guys are both single, by the way.
By
come
choice.
Come get them while they're
By
hot. Get
choice.
them while they're hot.
By
How many
choice.
times have you been in court for separation?
We're shooting shots. Okay. All right.
know-
Okay.
You know what? Let me just say this. before-
Hey, at least when you come to our houses, you'll have a clean toilet seat.
Not at my house. Unless we're having a party, then we'll clean it up real good. But you know what? I firmly believe that what makes somebody ugly is their personality.
I also agree.
There's people
Agree
that I
with
meet.
that.
Like, of course, I might not be attracted to them, but I talk to them. They're funny. First of all, I think laughter is. You're funny. You could be attractive.
So he can just laugh you about the draws, is what you're saying.
What? What did you say?
I said he can just laugh you about the draws.
Laugh you out your drawers.
Well,
My drawers?
go. Your panties.
My undergarments?
Yes.
Undergarments. Yes.
It's 3 jokes and you ready to go, huh?
No, I mean, it's got to be more than that. I think there's 2 things. that
Punchline, setup, premise.
things-
Punchline, setup, premise. Punchline, setup, premise. Let's go. That's how it is.
There's 2 things that keep people together for a long time, in my humble opinion. Laughter.
Sure as shit, not a clean toilet
Not
seat.
at the same time. You don't laugh during sex.
You can. You can.
I mean, yeah, you can. Me and my ex, we used
Again.
to. It depends on the relationship, the
Yeah.
vibe, you know?
There's
I
some
wouldn't
more.
laugh at them while you're.
There's a funny category of porn.
There is. People
Clown-
are laughing while they're
Clown
doing
porn
it.
and stuff like that. People have kinks.
Anal and laughter.
Jesus.
Wow.
Well,
How am I the cleanest person on this podcast?
I'm just asking.
And I'm not
You
even,
know?
and like I'm not even a clean comic. Like I'm dirty on stage, but like for
I'm just curious.
It's the toilet seat.
sorry, I've just
It's the,
thrown that out there. I am the cleanest person
it's the toilet.
on this podcast.
It's the dirty toilet seat. That's what it is.
You guys are judgy.
Dirty toilet seat, dirty mouth, dirty mind.
There you go.
On that note,
No, like totally. Like a good personality can make somebody more attractive.
yeah, and you know what? I firmly believe also that some people like embrace their ugliness.
Oh,
think
yes.
that's true?
In this
I think
age,
so,
in
yeah.
social media
Like,
now,
yeah.
I don't care how I dress. I don't care that I'm not wearing no makeup. I
because
don't care,
because
you know.
they end up, especially if they can get a
They
following,
weaponize it. They weaponize.
They get a
it.
following on social media behind it. Oh, girl, that's right. Do you? You don't have to blah blah blah. You get a following, and so that empowers that
Okay.
negative mindset,
There you
and
go.
that's really what's driving our world right now.
No shame.
None. There is no
No
shame.
shame.
I say bring shame back.
Can you
Shame
imagine if
disappeared.
everybody was attractive?
I'd
What
be
would that
okay
world
with
be
that.
like?
I think everybody would be happier.
But how much confidence would you have if there was how can there be beauty
Confidence isn't
if
always-
everybody is the same? You know what I mean? Like it's like a blooming flower and a dead flower.
So-
how would you know that one is so beautiful unless you look at the one that's so disgusting?
But because of what you just said a minute ago, beauty is not just outward appearance.
It's
what's on the inside
in
as
and
well.
out.
okay, well right now I'm talking about just outward appearance.
You always
Yeah.
moving the goalposts.
See, that's women.
No,
women.
That's women.
Moving the goalposts.
That's women for you.
Ew.
This is why they're always unhappy.
Yeah.
It's never can just
I'm
be
happy.
here.
I'm a happy person. Unless you're fucking with my toilet seat, damn it. Like,
But
sweet
yeah.
baby girl falls in it.
No, like it's there has to be, like everybody has their own thing, right? Like I had a buddy, he liked a girl because he liked her crooked tooth.
Oh,
He thought it was cute. He thought her crooked tooth was cute.
That's romantic.
But that's him, right? He liked those little what do you call those? Not insecurities.
Niche.
No, there's a word for
Quirks?
it. Quirks. Well, yeah, I guess a quirk is kind of a characteristic, but like this is a physical characteristic. So like just those little things that the imperfections. That's what I was looking for.
Imperfections.
Those little imperfections. Like a little mole here, a little crooked tooth there. A crooked nose, or
Until you break up and then you use
then
that.
you use that against
Use it against them.
Sounds like
you crooked tooth mole having shitty titty looking bitch.
you witch.
I ain't never liked that crooked tooth anyways. I
On the
just
way-
told you it was cute because you had low self-esteem.
On the way driving back from the beach, my husband, I was just pissed. I was just mad. I guess because we're leaving the beach. And-
Because you're a woman.
Oh, like men can't get mad for no reason. Okay. Well, then he goes, and my husband hardly ever says anything like mean to me, but he called me a witch on our anniversary day. But I always call.
He wanted to say
Why did he
something.
call you a witch?
He wanted to say something else.
Why did
but-
I know he did. I was like, oh, you wanted to call me.
There's a reason though.
What did you do?
What happened?
Oh, I was yelling. I don't know what I was yelling about, but
Exactly.
That's why he thought you were a witch.
he's one of
You were
those.
conjuring. You were
he's-
conjuring an argument.
He's one
You
of
were
those
using
guys.
spells.
He's one of those guys that has a lot of patience. Like there's very few men that would be able to I don't want to say handle me, but take this amount of.
Here's a little insight.
He's tired.
All men do that.
No, I don't know.
All men are patient.
My dad wasn't.
Most of them are.
My dad.
No, I think for me and my wife, we were both equally patient for each other because we each had our own quirks that were,
That's called love.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, for my divorce, I didn't divorce because I didn't love her. I divorced her because I did love her.
Yeah.
And our careers were going in different directions, and I was settled here in Texas. So I moved from California to here. I left a lot in California to be here. She came here because of a job opportunity, and because it was the bigger opportunity than I had at the time, we moved for her. Now, she wanted to keep moving to better her position for her job, and because of that, I would have to uproot again, and I just kind of finally came to a point in my life where I was like, I'm at an age where I don't want to move anymore. I've moved a lot in my life, and I just said, I need to settle down. I need to stay in one place. I need to build a life. And my comedy career was taking off here in San Antonio and in Texas. And I don't know if you know this because you guys all just started, but San Antonio and Texas wasn't booming like it is now. This is like a gold rush for comedy. And so I had already put roots here. I already established myself here. I started teaching classes. I was on the road with Steve. I was headlining here, there, and there. I couldn't just uproot and give that all away and have to start over again, especially in a city like Memphis where she was going. And if you ever been to Memphis, that's
LeBron James don't even like Memphis.
yeah. So Memphis, nothing against Memphis. It's a beautiful town to visit.
I liked it when I visited.
It's a beautiful town to visit, and you're from there. Of course, you got roots there.
Oh,
so
they know. They don't take no shade to it.
I'll go and visit there, but I'm leaving. My wife wanted to. My wife wanted to
That was
move
so
there,
obvious. I was like,
and I decided to stay here, and so I didn't want to hold her back, and she didn't want to hold me back, and that was one of the things we established early on was that we weren't going to hold each other back.
well, I just want you to be happy, Al. That's
So-
it.
Shout out to love.
Boom.
Shout out to ex-wife. We hope
So-
you're happy wherever you are.
Well, we got to wrap this up because we got things to do, unfortunately, and so does our producer. So a big shout out to our producer, Grabby.
Yay!
Shout out to Grabby.
So he's going to be and
What's
we're
that?
going. That's his
Flash Laughs. Shout out to Flash Laughs.
Flash Laughs.
He's from Flash Laughs. And hopefully this will be a long relationship with all of us, and hopefully we can do this once a week.
I had a great time.
And let's get to know each other a little bit better, folks. All right?
It was joyous.
All
joyous
right.
occasion.
So peace out. Hope you guys tune in next time. I'm Big Al.
Little L.
Tall T.
All right. We'll see you next time.